What's up, y'all, and welcome back to this week's Bourbon of the Week. If you don't know what we do on this channel, we take the bourbons in my collection, we rank them on price, taste, drinkability, we throw them on a ranking sheet, we see who breaks down to the number one bourbon that I have. What we normally do is take a bourbon that I already have, but this week we're going to add to the collection. We're going to my local liquor store. I've been here many times. I can tell you right now there are 6 sections of bourbon. We're going to go to section number 3. We're going to go second shelf from the bottom, and we're going to pick a bottle off that section closest to the right. Whatever bottle that happens to be is the bottle that we're going to pick, and that's the bottle that we're going to review this.
So here we are back at the house. We have the Old Forester 86 proof. I can tell you right now, the one thing I don't like about it, no cork, you can't hear the bottle pop, but it does still have a beautiful pour sound. So let's get into it. As we know, time for the traditional sip. That is not great. Before we get started, I did look up the mash on this. I'll link the last video up top. We learned about the difference between a rye and a corn mash. As we know, for a bourbon, it's got to be at least 51% corn to be considered a bourbon, but they can vary how much rye goes into it. This is 72% corn, 18% rye, and then 10% wheat. With a lower rye mash bill like that, it shouldn't have as much of a kick to it, and being only an 86 proof, it does burn a substantial amount. Now, I will also mention, when I talk on this channel, I use the word smooth when describing drinkability. The reason I do that is because I think a lot of bourbon novices like myself are looking for a smooth bourbon. Now, I went on the internet, and I know I shouldn't have done this, but I asked the bourbon connoisseurs, what should I be using other than the word smooth? And they gave me lots of different options. They said use a flavor wheel, buttery, creamy, velvet was a big one. There were a couple weird answers as well, but we will leave them alone. But what all of those things failed to mention is the fact that those are flavors. And while flavors can describe how smooth something is, we leave that for taste here. So when I'm talking about drinkability, I'm talking about that ethanol flavor, that alcohol kick. Does this bourbon have that alcohol flavor, or does it have the other flavors that you can appreciate, which we get into with taste? So I'm going to say for drinkability on this one, it is not smooth. It is not that good. It is not an easy sipper, as they would say. There's a bit of heat to it, but I don't think it's a spicy heat. I don't think it's a spicy rye undertone or anything like that, especially given the fact that it's only an 18% rye mash bill. So this is not going to score well on drinkability. I'm going to drop it down there to like a 3.9 on drinkability, which I know is low, but it's for an 86 proof, it shouldn't have that much kick to it. It shouldn't have that much burn to it. But it drinks like it's a much higher proof, and it's just not. So I think that a 3.9 is fair on drinkability. And the big thing about drinkability is it does roll over into taste. Those flavors that you have in here, while they are mild, it's a mild oaky flavor. I had to look this one up because I wasn't quite sure the word that I should use for this, but when I saw it is exactly what I was thinking. It's a leathery flavor. It almost tastes like a leather, like a hard leather product would taste. The way the leather smells, this is what it tastes like. It's not my favorite drink. It's not my favorite taste. The flavors that are there aren't overwhelming. It's nothing special. It's very smoky, very oaky, leathery taste. And other than that, there's not much. The hint of vanilla and caramel, as we always talk about. I don't really even get too much caramel with this. A little bit of vanilla, though, and maybe some like nutmeg type flavors. But other than that, there's not too much dimension to this. It's not very abstract. It's very simple, oaky, smoky bourbon flavor. Drop this in at a pretty low score. We're going to give this like a 4.4. Not my favorite taste. Not what I would like to see. Again, it's a cheap bottle, which we're about to get into with price. But other than that, there's not a lot of complexity to this. I wouldn't recommend it. It's a typical bourbon taste, but it also has that extra oaky, smoky, leathery flavor that I just don't like that much. As for price on this comes in at a $22 bottle, which you can't really get much cheaper than that for buying a bottle of bourbon, let alone a bottle of anything at this point. So for a $22 bottle, you might as well go out and get one. If you're looking for something real cheap to sip on, I know it's hard times for everybody, so maybe you just want something to drink on that's bourbon. 22 bucks for an Old Forester. Can't really beat it too much, so you can't give it a terrible score on price. I'm going to drop this in at like a 7.8 on the price scale, which is going to actually bring our average to 5.36 repeating, so we'll call it 5.37, and that's going to put Old Forester, unfortunately, back at the bottom of the list. 2 weeks in a row with not that great of bourbons, but we got to get through the bad ones to get to the good ones. But in the meantime, let's head over to a new segment, Rissa's Reviews. I know you guys missed her last week, so we brought her back for a little ending segment here. Something we're going to do pretty often on the channel just to get that extra review, see what she thinks of the bourbon here. So let's send it over to her. All right, so here we go with Rissa's Reviews. Chapter 1, Verse 1. Right here we have Old Forester. $23, $22 bottle.
I'm a little nervous about that.
She was not here for my review, so we will see what she thinks herself. What do we say?
It's time for the traditional sip.
There you go.
I'm trying to think if this burns maybe more than the last one I tried.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree. You got any flavor notes?
I could kind of, like, isn't it supposed to taste like a barrel?
It does taste almost like the barrel that it's sitting in.
I never knew what a barrel tasted like until now.
One worse than the Old Elk?
I think so.
There we have it, folks. We think so. So we're going to put this right where it belongs at the bottom of the list.
Oh, no. Can I try some good bourbon?
Yeah, we do have to get you something good once in a while. This was just it was a random pick. Any other closing thoughts?
I feel like I could blow out fire right now.
Like a dragon. This can turn you into a dragon. That's how good it is.
I wouldn't recommend.
I would not recommend it either.
I'm not going to chug it this time.
I wouldn't even finish the glass. But there we have it, Old Forester, bottom of the list. We got to get Marissa on some Rissa's Reviews with some good bourbon herself.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, don't drink and drive. Drink responsibly. And as always,
wash your hands.
Wash your hands and wear your masks. Till next time, guys. See you then.